Are you allowing ambition to override purpose? It can happen so subtly. One moment you're focused on what God has called you to do, the next you're driven by the pressure to achieve, impress, or stay ahead. The danger lies in chasing success at the cost of obedience. You might gain influence but lose direction. We live in a world that constantly pushes us to chase success by its standards, striving for bigger homes, flashier cars, higher paying jobs, and the kind of status that sets us apart from others. It's easy to get caught in the cycle of comparison and competition. But the scripture teaches us something different. Philippians 2:3 says, "Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind let each esteem the other better than themselves." In other words, we are not called to chase greatness for our own glory, but to walk in humility and serve others for God's glory. Selfish ambition is the drive to succeed at the cost of others, or without consideration of God's plan. It's a self-centered pursuit of recognition, power, or influence, one that often ignores the heart of God in favor of self-promotion. Not all ambition is wrong, though. There is a godly ambition that is rooted in pleasing God, growing spiritually and walking in obedience. This kind of drive is healthy and holy. It motivates us to use our gifts and callings to glorify God, not ourselves. The problem comes in when our ambition is fueled by the need to impress people rather than honor God. When our motivation shifts from obedience to applause, we lose sight of true purpose. Galatians 1:10 reminds us of this. It says, "For do I now persuade men or God? Or do I seek to please men? For if I still pleased men, I would not be a servant of Christ." This verse challenges us to examine our hearts. Are we living for God's approval or for the approval of others? The truth is, we can't do both. When we try to, we compromise our integrity and stray from God's will. King Saul is a powerful example of this struggle. Though chosen by God to lead, Saul's downfall came when he began prioritizing the opinions of people over the commandments of God. Instead of waiting for the prophet Samuel as instructed, Saul took matters into his own hands and offered a sacrifice, something only the prophet was appointed to do. Why? Because the people were getting restless, and Saul feared losing their support. His insecurity led him to disobey God for the sake of looking like a strong leader in the eyes of men. When Samuel confronted him, Saul admitted and said, "I was afraid of the men, and so I gave in to them." This wasn't just a moment of weakness, it was a pattern. Saul's ambition to maintain his image and approval with the people constantly led him to compromise God's commands. Ultimately, Saul let his selfish ambition override his purpose. He was meant to be king under God's authority, but he chose to be a king ruled by popularity. His desire to please the crowd led to disobedience, and ultimately his rejection as king. So let us be reminded that true success is not defined by status or worldly gain, but by faithful obedience to God. When our ambition is surrendered to Him, it becomes a tool for His glory, not our own. Until next time.